Hello and welcome to Collectors Corner Sydney, and welcome to the first State of the Collection video of 2026, which is watches. I'm going to go through the current watch collection after getting rid of the Rolex and buying the Squale, and a little bit about how I've ended up with this current collection, and then future plans for the year ahead. Enjoy. So yeah, this is the collection as of Jan 2026 in price sending order. Kicking us off, we have a Casio G-Shock GAB001. Every watch collector I feel should have a G-Shock, and this is a staple of mine, wearing it for training and going when I'm going for abroad. Next, we have a quirky little watch, which is the Seiko Metronome, which I actually bought off the back of a Teddy Baldessar video. And being a musician myself, I thought it'd be a cool little purchase. Then we go to the first dress watch which I ever bought, which is the Laurier Zephyr Black. This is a stunning watch, and I wear this quite frequently to dinner. It just has that Art Deco Jazz Age class to it. Absolutely love it. Then going on to the first watch I bought ever, which is the Hamilton Khaki Field 38mm. Did a lot of research on what watch I should get first. Ended up coming out with the Hamilton. Loved the heritage. Loved the military inspired design as well. Really, yeah, this watch is going to be in the collection forever, as it is the first watch I ever bought. Then moving into probably the funniest watch in the collection, which is the Studio Underdog Desert Sky. Shout out to the Brits. Always love a bit of a patriotic purchase. And yeah, Studio Underdog is absolutely killing it at the minute. Moving on then, the latest purchase, the Squale 1521 Emozione. I'll be doing a full video and review of this later on this year. And then probably moving on to my favorite watch in my current collection, which is the Universal Genève White Shadow from 1975. Probably the only true vintage watch as well in the collection, in all honesty. The mesh bracelet and the thinness of the movement make this such a flexible watch. And the design, the Gerald Genter design is just so special, and this is by far my favorite watch in the collection at the minute. I'm wearing this fairly regularly in informal and formal settings, and it just absolutely slaps. Then moving on to the Furlan Murray Black Sector Dial. This is then another one of those probably more classical dress watches. Again, probably a little bit of a mistake in the overlap that I have, and I don't wear it as much as the Laurier though. Then going back to that more military inspired heritage is this Vertex MP5 Arctic manual wind. This is again another bit of a patriotic purchase, with this being a British brand. Needs a service though, as the mono pusher is a little bit broken, so I need to find someone in Australia, or I will probably take it back to somebody in the UK in order to get fixed. Then moving on to another permanent fixture in the collection, which I will never sell, is this Omega Speedmaster Professional from 1992. This watch is personally significant because it's a birth year watch, but I also bought this here in Australia after I proposed to my now wife. So this is going to be a watch which is never going to leave the collection. It is a stunning watch as well, with that neo vintage watch with that faded bezel and that those tritium markers. It's just really love wearing this watch, and really special in terms of those memories for myself. Then moving on, we have the Christopher Ward C1 Bel Canto in Rossa and black Vicona leather. Now this watch is probably a little bit more of the function rather than the form, with the Sonnerie Passage chime as a complication. Amazing value prop. I know that's a bit of a cliche, but yeah, Christopher Ward again waving the flag for the British as a British brand, just killing it at the minute in that value space. And I have a lot of this, and I love a lot of the stuff they're doing at the minute. Now going on to the Germans, the Glashütte Original Panamatic Luna. Now this is some top level German watchmaking here, and probably my second most worn watch of last year. I would also say I am very much driven towards finding absolute bargains when it comes to watches, and this I picked up for a steal, in all honesty. So yeah, I've been wearing this to work, I've worn it to dinners, and even a couple of times golf accidentally, which probably hasn't done it any good. But yeah, fantastic watch, and one of those watches which is as good looking on the front as it is on the back, with that hand engraved swan neck regulator. And then finally, my biggest purchase to date, and probably the most special watch in this, which is the H. Moser & C Ventura Big Date limited edition in rose gold. And this is the watch that I wore to my wedding. Bit of an unconventional wedding watch, I will admit, but then I thought I'm a bit unconventional, so why not? When I picked this up, I was originally looking at the more traditional rose gold dress watches, traditionals and that sort of stuff, but this just ended up speaking to me a little bit more, as it was, a little bit more conventional, a bit more provocative, and I fell in love with the design language, the fume dial, the minimalist design, and it's just pure sleek stealth independent watchmaking at its absolute best. And then finally is this. I have this gold-plated pocket watch which was got left to me by my grandma at the end of last year. Gonna do a little bit more research. It has some markings on it, but I don't necessarily know that much about it. So that's gonna be a little bit of a video later on this year as well, investigating that a little bit more. So that's the collection. A few different themes I've noticed in my tastes and buying habits. Steel and rose gold dress watches seem to have taken over the collection a little bit. And then another theme is definitely that military vibe with the Hamilton, Vertex and Squale. I think moving forward, I think I've got a few targets and plans for this year. First part, I'm going to consolidate a little bit and get rid of the Seiko, the Studio Underdog, the Furlan Mari, and funnily enough, the Christopher Ward. Now, some of these might be a bit surprising, but main reason is these guys just aren't getting as much wrist time. And while I appreciate everything about these watchmakers, they're not connecting with me enough to actually keep in the collection, in all honesty. The Seiko was a bit of a quirky impulse purchase because of the musician connection, but I haven't really used it that much, to be honest. And then the Studio Underdog, while I do want to wear and add more color into the collection, this just doesn't seem to connect, in all honesty, to want to wear it regularly. Then Furlan Mari, as I already said, it crosses over a little bit too much with both the Universal Genève and the Laurier for me to, which I prefer wearing. So that's why that's going to end up going. And then finally, the Christopher Ward. Now, this is kind of a bit of the most surprising one to me, in all honesty, because on paper it has everything I find cool. The complication, great price, bit of color and decent looking as well, but sometimes you just can't explain why you don't connect with the watch. I wore it several times to events and watch, and even got a few questions about the sonnerie au passage, but after I found myself wearing it as a bit of a gimmick, and the complication was just a bit gimmicky, in all honesty. And I found that I also made the mistake of probably not purchasing it on a metal bracelet, but you live and you learn, and I think I will definitely be back purchasing a Christopher Ward in the future. All of these things are going to be made available to purchase on Chrono24 or eBay, so if you see something you like, feel free to reach out to me personally. And then the link will be in the description below. Now, after that bit of consolidation, there are a few special items which I have my eye on. In a future video, I will also be going over what my Grail watches are, but the watches and experiences that I have that have occupied my mind most for this year are: one, purchasing a Rolex from the AD. That's, as I said, mentioned in a previous video, the experience which I'd really like to try and do. Then two, something a little bit more colorful, and a GMT or world time function. This is also to help me easily track the time zone in London to contact people back home. And three, a vintage or neo-vintage Tudor has been on my mind for a little while now. So those are the three things, and that's the sort of summary collection as of Jan 2026. Hope you enjoyed the video. Cheers.